DEI training from Vanguard Group, one of the largest investment companies, on how to convince white men to promote DEI. Because that's not racist at all. Let's literally look at the person's skin color and say we need to attack the skin color to get at this person. So it's a screenshot you can tell from someone's PC, from internally. This is not something available online. The critical lever: engaging white males in advancing DEI. White males are a critical part of the mission to build a fair and more inclusive world. Now, when I read this and I see they would put the word "the mission," it sounds a lot like Marxism, communism. We need to get this person into our cult. It is our duty as human beings to indoctrinate as many people as possible. Laura Sherbin, Ceramount's lead researcher, presented research findings which suggested, well, listen to this professional woman to tell people why white men are important. This should be fascinating. Which suggested that while white males surveyed care about DEI and believe it to be beneficial to their organizations, which no, they don't. First off, they're morons if they do that. They'd be increasing people that don't know what they're doing potentially, because they would not be hiring based off of merit anymore. They'd be hiring off of checkboxes, and it would be declining your organization. You'd be working with coworkers that may not know what they're doing after that. So if white males overall are caring or saying in surveys that they care about DEI and believe it to be beneficial, they're doing that to cover their ass, to go along to get along, to not cause any flustered people, ruffled feathers, just to go along to get along. Many are often uncertain about how to get involved or are challenged by other barriers that impact their engagement. What are the barriers? Having a brain? Like, what are we doing here? Many are often uncertain about how to get involved, because this tells me there was an anonymous survey that told people to check off the box. Are you a white, black, Hispanic? Like, check off, and they checked off the white. And the next one is male, female, prefer not to answer, and they checked off male. And the next one is, how do you feel about DEI? Good, bad, indifferent. And then the next one is, do you feel like you know how to make an impact on DEI? Good, bad, indifferent. And they're probably like, bad. I have no idea what to fucking do with it. But yes, I would love to do whatever this is you're indoctrinating people with here. Look, just take the gun away from my head. I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. Please, if DEI is what keeps my job, sure, I'm all for it. I got a wife and kids and family to feed. I got a mortgage to pay. I got my life together. I don't need this bullshit cult ruining my life. So I'll just hang on to this paycheck as long as I can. That's what this has turned into. That's why white males are saying, yeah, how can I help with DEI? Keep giving me a paycheck every week, company, and I'll be a good little lapdog, and I'll do things to make sure that it furthers this mission. In a moderated panel discussion led by former financial advisor services managing director, holy crap, that's a long ass title. Imagine the business card for that one, Tom Rampolla, and featuring leaders from across the organization, including the critical lever event, highlighted tangible ways we can all advance DEI goals through active allyship. Who is paying for these programs and why are they a thing? No one ever questions that. They're not like, oh, how does this make the organization better? Oh, by including more voices, we hear a variety of people. Yes, I understand that. How does it make it better? Watch the video replay and review supplemental resources to debrief the replays, 4 segments. So they have, unfortunately, we don't have the video because it's just a leaked screenshot. But in this video that's being passed around internally at Vanguard, there's 4 parts to it: opening remarks, Seramount research presentation, Tom Rampola's why story and panel discussion, and then Q&A and closing. So here's the thing. I would pose this question. If I was ever in one of these meetings, this is why I could never work at one of these companies. I wouldn't be able to help myself. I would hold my hand up and I'd be like, in the Q&A, I'm like, yeah, question, senior, what the fuck are you? Former financial advisor, services managing director, Tom Rampola. I have a question. How exactly does this make the organization better? And I would just listen. And I could guarantee you whatever they say is going to be some surface level bullshit that doesn't answer the question at all, and then tries to portray the answer in a way that makes me feel like a bigot, the person in the wrong, and that I need to know my role. That's what these people do. And it's like time and time again that continues to happen. And that's how this keeps perpetuating throughout not just finances or other organizations and industries, but specifically, it has found a home. The virus has found a home in the game industry, because the game industry has always been a culture of counterculture people that was naturally accepting of people from all backgrounds and all ways of life and all walks of life. If you knew how to code and you had a passion for gaming, no one gave a shit what gender you were, what color your skin was, what you did when you closed the bedroom door. No one cared about any of that. They cared about the games. And this virus found a way insidiously to find its way into the game industry and utilize these weak-minded people to make it seem like this is how you need to be. And in doing so, you start actually being racist, sexist, and against people that are just trying to live a normal nuclear family life. And that's how we found ourselves in the situation we find ourselves right now. But yeah, I found it fascinating. When I saw this, I was like, a DEI training from Vanguard. So now we see specifically Vanguard Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion DEI Immersive Reader, DEI Learning resource page. And it's not limited to Vanguard. This is a lot of companies do these. But I found it particularly interesting because Vanguard comes up all the time when we talk about BlackRock. It's BlackRock and Vanguard, and how these are the two organizations that are always tied to low interest loans or investing into companies. And you see the start of where it all comes from. The beginning of it is right here. But anyways, that was really all I had to say on that. That was just a quick topic, but I just thought it was fascinating. Fascinating. Odin Darkle says better has become a buzzword. It does, and nobody ever questions it. It's such a safe word to use because it's just like, oh, okay, it makes it better. Okay, yeah. I'm a part. I want to make things better. Of course I do. I'm not a bad person. I'm not evil. I want to make things better. Like, that's how they get people. No one thinks critically anymore. They're just like, okay, surface level, better. Or the people that do think critically, like I said earlier, are the ones that are like, yeah, I just want to keep this job. I need this paycheck. Inflation, by the way, has had a lot to do with this, I think, where it's put people in more challenging financial positions where they're more likely to put up with whatever they have to put up with to keep their job because of uncertainty outside of the workplace, that they need to make sure they still have that job. So in a weird way, the global economy has impacted the spread of Marxism and communism even more. So something to keep track of. And yes, you could say, what's that have to do with video games? But I mean, if you pay attention to video games for 2 seconds, you'll see it's a direct correlation to all of them. Exactly, Jason Kroll. Financial oppression. I mean, they say it's like the golden handcuffs. It's not even golden these days. It's just the handcuffs now. Financial blackmail to force DEI, says the voice protagonist. Yeah, in a weird way. I think that has a lot to do with it. And that's something I don't hear a lot of people talking about too. But yeah, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. And it doesn't seem like DEI is going anywhere, even with Trump pushing forward to try to remove it from governmental stuff and trying to outlaw it and all that. We're seeing all these other organizations like Warner Brothers last night was another one we talked about where it's just doubling down on ESG and DEI in the face of the government being like, no, we're not promoting this anymore. They're like, oh yeah, watch us do it. We're a private company. What are you going to do to us? We have money. You can't stop us. So should be interesting to see where it goes from there, but I'll leave that right there.